Good morning, Babel. I'm still... Oh my gosh. Sorry if I sound terrible. I believe I'm getting sick. I hope I'm not, but we'll find out. I'm just getting my various posts in order. And I'm also going to be drinking my coffee, so I will be muted, so you don't have to hear the cup hitting the mic almost every single time I drink from it. Yeah, I've been very sniffly lately, unfortunately, which not all that surprising. I would be more surprised if I came through kind of the holidays, the big group of people, all the errands I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off doing. I'd be surprised if I came through all of that without getting some little bug of some kind. So I'm bundled up with a blanket at my desk, and hopefully, some cough drops and some vitamin C. We'll keep the worst of it away, but we'll find out. I'm sure I'll be fine. You're probably gonna hear my very squeaky chair. I need to replace this chair. Oh no. Well, Nix, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I don't know if I'll be streaming by the time you get back. Today's gonna be a little bit short, but Thank you so much for stopping by. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you, Nix. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Have a good time. Be safe out there. Vamp, welcome in. How are you today? I am a little bit sniffly, so hopefully I don't sniffle too much. Just getting my various posts done. I was actually not sure what I was going to work on today at first. I had a couple of options. The sketch, which I'll swap screens here shortly to show you. But the sketch that I'm working on is actually one that I intend for YouTube, not for streaming, but as a speed paint, and it's going to have a little bit of lore to go with it. But it's the most complete sketch that I have to work on today, and I'm not feeling too well, so I'm gonna try and keep it easy for myself. So this one will be, the final speed paint will be a little bit weird because there will already be a base sketch, but I think it will still be fun. Oh, I have to move. There we go. That's the right screen. Alright. You can probably tell what it's supposed to be just by looking at the full thing, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that idea or if I'm going to change it. We'll find out as I work a little bit. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. I do want to do... I'm not sure if... Yeah, I think I am going to keep the... I was considering changing the angle of their head, but I think I like this angle. So I think I'm going to keep this angle for their head. art program do you use? So I draw primarily in Paint Tool Sci, so that is currently what I'm using. I do have Clip Studio Paint. I use that for some things, usually for finishing pieces, but 99% of what I do is done in Sci. So this is done in Sci, and this is just using the default airbrush. My coffee is already getting cold. Oh no. Right, I need to... I guess this is also technically the wrong color. There we go. It's hard to see now, but it's still there, I promise. By the way, I think I remember seeing something about this on your Insta a year ago, but is there a story about your OCs, and where do you post about it? Yes, there is. So there is a book. I have published the first book in the series about my characters. Let me get you a link and I can put it in the chat for you. There we go. So yes, I published the first book in the series. This is about Cyril. This is the priest storyline. So if you've seen the Hellfire animatic, this is that storyline. The books start off before the Hellfire animatic. Like the events of the Hellfire animatic do not happen in the first book. That happens later. So it's a little bit like a prequel. So it gives you backstory on the characters and kind of how they all came to be there, and that sort of fun stuff. It's a chunky book. It's a long book, but I had a lot of fun writing it. I'm currently working on volume 2. There's probably going to be 3 books in the series. That's my expectation right now. It just kind of depends on how it shakes out as I continue writing. So I have that series, so that's pretty much everything that you've seen on my YouTube is for that. So that's the Cardinals, the Cathedral, etc., the vampires and the vampire hunters. That's that story. I do have some other smaller stories I'm also working on. Some of them with the same characters, some of them with alternate, AU, alternate worlds, alternate settings. But those are smaller scale projects, and some of those might be on Patreon this year. One of them is probably going to be published this year. So, lots of little stories. I just mostly post them on Instagram. I try to post them here. YouTube is weird. I try to post things in the community tab, but it's totally hit or miss whether anybody sees those. And I can say that for sure because I very rarely see community posts from YouTubers that I follow. I don't know how anybody ever sees these things. Going to buy it later. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoy it. If you do get a chance to read it, I hope you enjoy. I'm having a lot of fun writing them. It's fun to write my silly little guys. Yes, the Cardinals didn't feature in the Is that a lie? Am I lying? Hold on, I have to think about this now. Were there any Cardinals in the Hellfire animatic? I don't think there were. I don't think I included them. They were in the original draft for the Hellfire animatic, but I don't think they made it to the final. I think I decided that for the Hellfire animatic, including the Cardinals was going to be too many characters for at least for the portion of the story I wanted to tell. So I don't think they're in it. But they are in the trailer, so I did another animatic. It's very short, it's like 30 seconds long. Very, very short. But I did the other animatic that is the trailer for Immolation, which is the story, which is the book. And the Cardinals are in that, I think, for like 2 seconds. but out of 30 seconds, that's actually pretty good. I don't have any big plans with this particular sketch. I mean, obviously you can tell what it's based off of, but I don't have any real big ideas with it. I'm just going to try to clean it up a little bit. Death Moon Dragon, welcome in. I'm so sorry if I sound terrible. I'm a little bit. I'm right on the cusp of getting sick. Beautiful sketch so far, though. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you like it. What would be nice is if I had. Because I'm using Paint Tool Psi, not. Oh my goodness, my voice. I'm so sorry. I'm using Paint Tool Psi, not Psi 2. I don't have 2. I'm not sure if I'll. Whoops. Oh, it's the wrong color. Oh, I'm so out of it today. I'm not sure if I'm going to get Psi 2. I'm not sure what features it has. I'd have to research a little bit more. But for a drawing like this, it'd be nice to have it. What would the proper term be? Is it not a ruler? That's not the right term. Like a mirroring feature where I could like split this down the middle, and if I draw one side, it would reflect it to the other. That would be helpful for the top, at least. Well, at least for the portions that are going to be symmetrical, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just popped in to see the lovely art. Thank you so much. I have a bag of cough drops ready. I probably shouldn't be drinking coffee, but I am anyways. I took some vitamin C with my breakfast this morning, and hopefully it'll pass. I've had a bad week, so I'm hoping it's just because of that, and I'll be bright as rain come Monday morning. And thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I've been trying to practice more. Because I have a bad habit of doing sketches. And my brain just goes, great. Great work, team. Let's pack it up. Let's be done for the day. So I'm trying to render more, because I really do enjoy doing it. The thing I hate the most is lining. I hate lining so much. But usually I have to do some lining in order to get to the rendering. I'm not sure if I'm gonna. I don't remember how I. Hold on. I'm gonna have to get my old reference out of the Cardinals. I know I've got it somewhere. Oh boy. Let's see. Kim, welcome in. It's so good to see you. How are you today? How are the pups? Is that the right one? No, that's the alternate outfits. Oh, this should be the right one. Okay, here we go. Oh, I did have it fastened all the way in the front. Okay, okay. Oops. Pups are doing well, doing pretty good. Good, I'm glad to hear it. Slept a lot yesterday. Oh, that's the best. We love to hear it. Okay, so I completely forgot that I have. I knew that, as if one could make sense of my scribbles here, but I remembered, like these lines here. I remembered that they've got like, metal jewelry. I'm sure that there is a name for this, and I just cannot remember what it is. But they've got that across, but you can tell I had it open, kind of the way Cyril's cassock is. That's not accurate. That's not what I have them wearing, so I have to fix that. That's okay. I can do that. Easy fix. Glad that I got it. That means their arms are going to be in front. Rushing to get 4 pictures done for college because the deadline is tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I wish you all the strength. You can do it. I'm cheering you on. Not finishing it, that's fair. It's the same with you. More fun to sketch and doodle concepts. Yeah, it's super fun. It's nice and again my my brain is abandoning me this morning, but it's a nice low energy way to kind of scratch that creative itch without kind of fully committing to this this longer project that's going to take a lot of time and energy. With my day job and writing, I have to be very selective about where I spend my energy because it is a finite resource. So usually that means that I end up sketching more than anything. Um, but I would like to, within reason, break that habit a little bit and do some more rendering because I do enjoy it and I would like to practice it more. Can I swear? Is that allowed in this chat? Within reason. Probably like, PG-13, I would say. I'm assuming we're all adults. I'm an adult. But, nothing super hard. But like, if you want to say fucking, that's totally fine. Dante, welcome in. It's so good to see you. The Cardinal has such a peaceful expression. Are they the same in reality? So they do have a very peaceful expression. Sometimes depending on the angle that you're seeing it, it can seem peaceful, it can seem snarky, it can seem neutral. But the Cardinals do wear masks, so it's not their actual expression, it's just the metal cast of the mask that they're wearing. So it doesn't change. And, who knows? They're probably judging you behind the mask, but it is a very peaceful expression, and that is by design. I love the Cardinals. I think my editor, I would have to go pull up the manuscript and look at the notes, but I'm pretty sure my editor said that the Cardinals were her favorite, or some of her favorite characters, or like favorite kind of concepts in there, which made me very happy. I love my Cardinals. Also, an adult, you were half-assing it. I am cheering you on. I completely feel that. Sometimes that's all we can do. As grown-ass adults, sometimes we just have to half-ass it. Oh wow, you can tell with this sketch I did not decide what angle their hat was going to be at. Oh no. I'll do my best. You can tell that they've got the same sort of hat that Benjamin wears, which is masculine, but you can tell better in this. You can tell that they've also got the coif around their neck, like around their neck and head. So they're wearing both the masculine and the feminine, which is a fun little design thing. I don't know if I really mentioned that in the book. They're just supposed to be androgynous, they're gender neutral. But I thought it was a fun little thing. My favorite side characters for sure. I love how unbothered they are. They're just trying to go about their day, man. Maybe you should just chill. I love them. I am very fond of them. If I may ask, what is the process for your writing? It's a line of work. Oh, you're interested in writing. Okay, awesome. Seeing a certain larger world building of mine for years. Any tips about the creative process? Let's see. So I did a Q&A a little bit about the creative process. So if you haven't watched that, I might answer some questions in there. It should be it's in my normal videos. It wasn't a stream, so it should be in my normal videos, and it should be labeled the creative process. So there's that video. If you haven't watched that, I do talk a little bit about the creative process. It's both for art, and in this case, it's both for the animatic and for writing. So there's that available to you. And then in terms of creative process, so if you've not heard the terms plotter and pantser before, those are terms that are used to kind of describe, and I'm so sorry if you can hear my squeaky chair. I'm standing up to open the window for some fresh air, and I'm so sorry if you can hear the squeak. But if you haven't heard the terms plotter and pantser, that refers to people who feel the need or who work best with plotting out every single thing that happens. So they'll usually have a really detailed kind of outline for their stories. Okay, the window's open. I have some fresh air. My coffee's going cold, so I need to finish it. Oh, squeak chair. Anyways. And then pantser is on the other end of that spectrum. And pantser refers to someone who quite literally flies by the seat of their pants. So they just kind of make it up as they go. So those are kind of the two ends of the spectrum. One is super structured, super planned, and the other is, very organic and just kind of comes and goes. Vamp, you're crushing it. I believe in you. You can do it. So I fall kind of somewhere on that spectrum. I would say that I fall more towards... I'm definitely more towards a plotter. I have to plot out very specific things. However, there is a lot of it that also just kind of I come up with on the fly. So they're not, hard and fast rules. I definitely fall somewhere in the middle of those two things. It's not that you're one or the other, it's a spectrum. But what's really important is finding the balance in terms of just kind of starting when it comes to the creative process. Because there are definitely people who, if you tell them, hey, sit down and create an outline for a chapter or plot out like all of your plot points for this story, they're going to get completely overwhelmed and frustrated, and they're going to give up. Which isn't to say that there's anything wrong with them or that they are not ready to write a book or whatever. It's just not the right process for them. And I see that a lot with new writers. They'll get totally overwhelmed and they'll end up quitting. So kind of getting a feel for what sort of writer you are. Are you a plotter, a pantser? Are you somewhere in the middle, more like me? That's really important, because what I do, like I said, kind of falls in the middle. I will have a general idea, a very loose plot. I'm not sure if plot's quite the right word, but a very loose outline, maybe. I know that, for example, I want X or Y thing to happen, but I don't really know how I want it to happen just yet. But I'm not going to plot out, this perfect sequence of events to get to that conclusion that I want. I'm going to write out some different sketches for different scenes, and then try to kind of go from there and see if I can fit them together. That's more of the style of writing that I follow. If you go by Heaven, Vamp is an old used to at this point. No worries. Okay, so when we see Vamp, it needs to be Heaven. Well. Hello, Toyo. Welcome in. Thank you very much. Tad new to those terms, not too knowledgeable, but yeah, you'll probably see them thrown around a lot. They're pretty common terms in the writing community. But again, sometimes you will see people pitching it as like hard and fast, or either one or the other, and I really would suggest looking at it more as like two ends of the spectrum, and you'll typically fall somewhere in the middle, maybe leaning one way or another. That's where I fall as well, or at least I fall into the middleman, since, yeah, numerous documents. I have lots and lots of documents, and I will say, if you're new to writing, and I believe that this is something that I said in the Q&A, so unfortunately, if you do go watch that, I might be repeating myself, and I do apologize. But one of the things that's really important when you're new to writing is just getting in the habit of writing things down. And I don't mean writing things down as in, oh, you have a world-building idea, so you write down notes, because notes are a very different beast from like creative writing, where you're writing out a scene or a plot of a point of a story, etc. So when I say get into the habit of writing things down, I mean if you have a particular scene or a little piece of dialogue or something that comes to mind, get in the habit of writing that down, and writing it down as if it is a little excerpt from a book. It doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter if it's relevant to your current project, it doesn't matter if you never use it at all, just write it down, because translating things out of your brain into a machine or onto a piece of paper, however you want to think of it, making that translation from your brain to written word is a skill, and it does take time and repetition, because I've gotten into that habit and I find it very, very helpful, because it used to be that I would struggle to figure out, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to word this? Does this make sense to a reader, etc.? And a lot of those things you will kind of hammer out as you get more in the habit of writing things down in a way that they are, intended to be read as part of a story versus they're just your own notes. So that's one recommendation, is just to get in that habit. You'll also see crazy suggestions like, oh, write 2,000 words a day or things like that. I personally have seen a lot of writers get very frustrated by that as well. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. I do write every single day, but I have absolutely no word count goals. So I'm not trying to hit 2,000 words a day, 4,000 words a day, whatever. I'm just trying to write something every single day. Some things you immediately know and want to happen in a story. Getting to those points that you're describing. Yeah, definitely. Write short stories almost? Yeah, almost. And it's different for everybody, right? Like, I might start writing something and it turns into a short story, and that's great. And then sometimes I write little snippets that, for example, could have fit into Volume 1 of Immolation, but they weren't actually used for that. They make complete sense in that context, but they aren't going to be used in the final story, which is another kind of painful part of writing. You're going to write some things that you absolutely love, but you can't use. Which, if you encounter that, you'll know that you're a writer. Because I've written some scenes that I absolutely love. You know, the dialogue is fun, there's tons of character, but it doesn't actually help the story progress at all. So I have to remove it. Singular creative writing classes. Another one of those. I took some of those in college. Yeah, absolutely. Wish to ask others who've been in such areas and have their knowledge on it. Feel free to ask anytime. I'm around on Instagram, etc. So by all means, if you have questions, I always love helping out other writers. Tracy, welcome in. How are you today? Noted. Good. Awesome. Yeah, I'm always available. I mean, if I'm not pulling my hair out at my day job. But usually sometimes then too. Stream is very relaxing, and I'm simultaneously relaxed and screaming at my tablet. Oh, skeletons. Oh no. Oh no. When you had all this time to do it. Oh no. Oh, I feel that. Yeah, I had to do. I had, quote unquote, but I didn't have to do anything. I wonder if I don't remember if I posted it on Instagram. Let me check. I had to draw a rib cage, and that took me like 20 minutes. People underestimate how annoying it is to draw skeletons. I don't think I posted this one on Instagram. If I did, I think I posted it in a story, not as a post. Rats, yeah, I don't see it on my Instagram. I'm not sure where it is either. I'd have to go find it. Cynthia, welcome in. How are you today? Anatomy is always fun for me to draw. Skeleton's flesh. Also doing a skeleton sketch for traditional drawing course. body horror is a lot of fun. It's one of those things that I would like to do more of, which is, you know, apt considering that Immolation is a dark fantasy and a gothic horror, so it's right up that alley. But I would like to draw more of it for sure. I don't know if YouTube would like me drawing more of it. Maybe YouTube wouldn't be uh, as suspicious of me because I draw in grayscale most of the time. But the thing is, even when I draw grayscale, one of the things that I usually color is blood. It's usually blood and gold. Those are the two things that I color. So I don't know. We'll see. Oh no, there's something in my eye. Oh, I think it's an eyelash. Oh no. No, 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 no. Bye, Heaven. Thank you so much for stopping by. Good luck with your project. Good, just tired with swimming today. Ooh, swimming. Is it warm where you are, or do you have like a heated pool situation going on, like an indoor pool? It's cold here, where I am. Oh my gosh, I think it's out of my eye. Okay, I think it's gone. Ooh. A blizzard? Oh god. Ooh. Stay safe and warm. It's not too bad where I am. I don't actually know what temperature it is outside. Hold on. It is currently 55 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 13 Celsius. That ain't bad. Depending on where I am currently. Ooh, negative. Ooh, chilly. No, it's cold where I live. Just in the swimming hall. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I have a. Well, I don't have a pool. My parents have a pool, and I have a key to their house and to their backyard. So by extension, I have a pool. But our pool is outdoors. However, my parents do also have a hot tub, which is in the same aforementioned backyard. So I could make use of that on colder days, if I so wished. Which actually, I do have to go over to my parents' house later today to help my dad with something. So I might actually do that. That eyelash is still not out of my eye. Oh god. Morgan, welcome in. No need to apologize, I'm glad you made it. -2 is just a regular winter stroll. Steal the pool. I'll put it under my arm and run with it like a football. Oh, man, I have to. It's my right eye. My right eye is the one with the eyelash in it, so I'm having to use my left eye, which is my non-dominant eye. I'm struggling. It's fine. Oh, it's night for you. Ah, you're across the pond then. Across the pond, like Babel, who is I forget what time of night it is, but it's very very far in the future compared to me. Just means cozy inside with tea or hot cocoa. True. The best part of cool weather is the delicious hot drinks, delicious hot beverages that you can have. Chilling on the living room couch. Wish that was me. My parents actually just bought 2 new chairs for their house to kind of go near the fireplace. And oh my god, they are the most comfortable chairs I've ever lounged in. I very rarely fall asleep, like, unless I'm really, really pushing myself hard and, like, burning myself out. I very rarely fall asleep in a chair, like, of any kind. Whether that's at my desk or something. But man, I sat in that chair with the dog in my lap for like 15 minutes. I was out like a light. 10 out of 10, extremely comfortable chair. I mean, I'm sure the fireplace and the dog helped, but still. Old Victorian with the humble little fireplace area. Want to be the rich Victorian widow. the goal. I mean, I'm saving up for a house, and I know, realistically, I'm gonna get, some little small house or like maybe a little condo somewhere, and I'll be very happy with it. But the dream, the urge to buy like a little Victorian house and fix it up. I just want to have my own Victorian study with lots of books, lots of bookshelves, and a nice desk. That's all I want. I think I'm entitled to just having some nice things. Uh, but for now, I just have a desk with a very squeaky chair, and that's okay. I'm faced with the consequences of my own actions because I didn't really think through how their veil was going to be, but I'll figure it out. I really love antique stuff, architecture, furniture, all that jazz. Nothing enrages me more than seeing like house slippers that just put that horrible gray or beige over old houses. Takes away all the character. In my opinion, it takes away all the character. Sadly, I have a flat and we have a fake fireplace. I wish to have a house. Same. So I'm currently very happy with it. God, if I could move out and afford it. Yeah, housing anywhere is really rough. Yeah, I'm like currently trying to save up. I know it's going to be several years before I can get anything at all. But the idea of, even if it's not a little Victorian mansion, I can at least fill it with antiques and little treasures that I find. Because, as my author bio would attest to, if you've found the little Easter egg that is my author bio, I love making terrible financial decisions in antique shops. And I don't have many antiques right now, because, as specified previously, I am trying to save up for a house. So I'm really trying to limit my spending and put pretty much everything that I can that isn't being spent on, like bills, etc., into savings. But man, I follow so many dangerous accounts on Instagram. I follow so many antique hawkers on Instagram, and oh, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous world out there. I used to love collecting porcelain dolls. Oh, very pretty. I'd love to have a big house and have, yeah, room to display the collection of things is the dream. Like, yeah, even if I don't get, a Victorian mansion, just the joy that can come from having space to display those little collectibles and antiques. Very fun. I've got a couple of very small pieces. I've got this. My uncle's an antique trader, so every once in a while he gives me what he calls smalls, which is just little trinkets, little odds and ends. So I've got this little opal carving. He mostly trades. His wife is from Thailand, so he and his wife usually go to Thailand. They'll alternate. They'll live in Thailand for 1 year. They'll come back. They'll live in America for 1 year, etc. And so he'll usually come back from Thailand with all sorts of little treasures. And one of those is he gave me as a little carving of a tiger made out of opal, which is super cute. It's when I say it's small, I mean it's like it. It's a. Okay, hold on. How do I explain this? Let's see. So it looks like this. It's pretty blocky. That's part of the design of it, and it's got like little stripes on the face, right? Mouth. It's got a little tail that curls up, legs, and it's like looks like you get the idea. And the stripes are not like painted on or anything because it's opal. It's just carved. So like all of the stripes are carved in, and it is probably about. I'm eyeballing the measurements here. It's probably about 1.5 inches, maybe 1.5 inches long. Like when I artist rendition of my hand. When I put it in my hand, it's probably about like that big, right? So you can kind of get an idea. It's quite small, but it's very cute. Oops. I have trinkets my family gives me, a few teacups. Oh, teacups are so fun. They're so cute. I think Babel collects teacups as well. I don't know if she's still in the chat, but I think she collects teacups. You can visit taxidermy and antique jewel dragons. Oh, dragons. Lord of the Rings letter opener. Ooh. And a pocket watch. You've got all sorts of goodies. Dolls are so pretty. Don't activate my trap card. They're not porcelain dolls, but careful. Don't activate my trap card talking about dolls. I do not collect porcelain dolls, but I collect a different kind of doll. Like a tiny good luck charm. We love little luck charms. I had another small from my uncle. I think it's packed away right now. I have a lot of my stuff packed away at the moment. But it was probably about as big as my thumbnail, just this itty bitty thing. But it was a little itty bitty carving of an elephant made out of ivory, just super tiny. It's really cute. I used to carry that around in my pocket because I would like the feeling of having it like between my thumb and my finger. I used to carry that around a lot because I got that back when I was high, possibly as young as middle school. Babel, Babel, you don't get to encourage it because you hear about all of my doll shenanigans, whether you like it or not. You already know. Collected a lot of random things over the years. Favorite collections. American Alice games, so interesting. Dolls. So I collect resin dolls, which so I collect resin dolls which are meant to be customized rather than like a porcelain doll that comes when porcelain is fired, the paint on the face is like set, so you can't change it. I collect resin dolls, which are meant to be customized, so you can paint them however you want. You can change the hair, the clothes, etc. You can really customize them. So I have dolls of a fair bit of my characters. I've got Cyril, I've got Bronte, I've got Benjamin. I have lots of them. financial decisions. It was a little bit of a lie when I said that, oh yeah, I'm saving all of my money. If it's not going towards essentials, it goes towards, well, in this case, it also goes towards the book, but it goes towards saving for a house. That's not entirely true, because I buy a lot of resin doll stuff. Um, but it's mostly true. I still keep my little elephants my grandmother gave me. Oh, that's awesome. I love things that are handed down. I don't know. I have such a soft spot for it. I love it. It doesn't matter what it is. I just love like little things you've carried from your family. Bronte is my favorite. Love to. Let me see. I think I can get a picture of Bronte. Uh, doll customization like folks make on YouTube. Yes, there's quite a lot of artists making things on YouTube. So it's kind of a step up from, and there's a lot of overlap in the hobby. I am very specifically in like the resin dolls hobby, but there's a lot of overlap between people who collect and customize like playline dolls, and so on and so forth. But I collect exclusively resin dolls. I do not do the customization myself. I commission professional artists to do it, because you have to be experienced with handling resin, and it's toxic and all that sort of stuff. I don't have a workshop space, excuse me. Oh, my voice has started to give out again, sorry. I don't have a workshop space. Let me see here, I can just paste this in. I'll just paste this in, and there we go. I'll just put her over top. But that's my doll of Bronte. She's precious, and I love her, and the artist did a really, really good job with her. Yeah, she's about 56, 57 centimeters tall, so if you can calculate that and imagine how big she is. I collect pretty much the largest size of resin dolls. They come in all different sizes. Some are quite small, and then I collect the big one. Baby! Sure, I love her so much. Look at that angel. Beautiful, pretty. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys like her. I was really happy the artist was willing to work on her, because this is... Sit down, welcome to my TED Talk about the resin hobby. Different dolls need different things in terms of being painted, and one of the things that, if you are getting a doll that is a head that does not match the body that you're putting it on, which is called hybriding in this hobby, the resin color that they were cast in will not match. And I knew the artist that I wanted to paint her, but the artist did not offer a resin matching service, because that means that you have to seal the resin, and you have to layer pigment after pigment after pigment to get the color to match. And not only is that a very time-intensive process, because you have to seal it and then you have to let it cure, which takes a long time. You have to do several layers. It's also expensive in terms of the pigment, the amount of pigment that you're using. And it's very susceptible to flaking off. So all that work could be damaged and wasted. So the artist that I was working with, who had painted Cyril, because I have a doll of Cyril as well. I technically have 2 dolls of Cyril because he's the favorite child, but that's a whole other can of worms. We won't open that right now. But anyways, I just kind of quietly asked him, like, hey, I know you don't do resin matching, but could you please consider my precious angel? And they're like, yeah, I like Bronte enough, I'll do it. Thank goodness. I was so happy. life isn't the consequences of my own actions. I think. Oh wow, I had their veil a lot longer. Oh, I think I had their cloak on them. I think that's what I was doing. I don't know. I have to think about how long I want to make this. I need to read your novel, get some cash soon. Thank you. That's very kind of you. I hope if you are able to get it, that you read it and you enjoy it. I've had a couple, like a weird amount of sales for this month, which has been very exciting, very unexpected. Because obviously no one's really buying very many books kind of during December. That's the month where people who read a lot will typically have to stop buying books because they have to buy gifts for other people. And I haven't been like, I'm very bad at advertising. I don't like doing it. I don't like shilling my work to people. I understand that it's essential when you are a small-time creator, but I'm very old-fashioned, and I like the idea that my work can stand on its own and bring in people, which is old-fashioned and not sustainable, but it's the way that my brain works, so that's just how I am. But yeah, this month there's actually been quite a few people buying the book, so hopefully people who've bought it have a chance to read it and they also enjoy it. Here's hoping. Oh, whoops. You. There we go. A few books I want to get from other artists. You, like yourself. Sucker for Gothic Victorian shit. Oh, that's such a movie. I have a friend who just went to see, what's that movie? Nosferatu. She was it's like, oh my gosh, the vibes. Now I need to go read more of Immolation because the vibes are the same. That Victorian Gothic horror, delicious. Yeah, I would say that, and I'm not sure because you mentioned wanting to write and to kind of get into writing as like a creative hobby. I'm not sure if you intend, or if you even know, which you might not know yet, which is perfectly fine. But I'm not sure if you intend to self-publish, or if you would want to perhaps pursue traditional publishing. But I self-published for a lot of reasons that I won't necessarily get into, unless you guys want to know, I suppose. But when you go into self-publishing, there's a huge focus kind of in the self-publishing community on turning it into a business and treating it like a business and so on and so forth, which works perfectly fine for a lot of people, and it's not, there's not a right or wrong way to do it in my mind. If you want to treat it like a business, then you should. But I am writing these stories and sharing them because I like doing it. That's really my primary drive. So I'm more interested in curating an audience that likes my characters and wants to read my character stories versus here is, X or Y book just because. So it's something that kind of not took me by surprise because I knew it was there, but it can be a little bit exhausting to to be trying to cling on to your creativity in this sea of people who tell you that you need to treat it like a business if you ever want to be successful. At least that's been my experience. I'm not saying that's universal, but that was definitely kind of my experience. I still talk to some people, not very many, admittedly, because I tried to do what you're quote-unquote supposed to do, right? When you start self-publishing, you're supposed to network with a lot of your fellow writers. Um, which, you know, hey, great, sure, I'll do that. Um, but it was kind of like every single person I met, which, and again, not to say that it's right or wrong or that they're bad people or anything like that. It's not that they're bad. It's that they have a very different approach to publishing their work than I do. So we weren't really compatible. And again, I'm so bad at networking. I'm not interested in networking with, like, I have to network for contacts in my day job, right? Like, to get a job, I need to network. That's one thing. But this is like my creative hobby, and I don't want it feeling like a second job. And a lot of the people that I met were treating it like a second job. And so I don't know. I found that kind of difficult to constantly be butting heads with. You know, people would constantly be asking me like, oh, you know, why aren't you doing, you know, XYZ, you know, marketing strategy, and why aren't you paying for ads, and why aren't you doing this, this, and this? And I just, because I'm just trying to have fun with my characters. That's why. I'm just here to have a nice time, man. Do you wish to make a novel series? I feel like it's best for a certain project. Yeah, that's a big part of it. It's making sure that you find the right medium for which story you want to tell. Series of books tell a story. On the other hand, if a smaller story, make a video game is might be. That's really fun. Best thing to do is enjoy what you do, even if it's stressful. You always enjoy your work. Cynthia, welcome back. Pem gave me such a precise review of Nosferatu. It's a movie for those who have troubles accepting sense. Interesting. I haven't had time to actually go see it. I don't know if it's still showing. I think it came out on Christmas, right? I'm not sure how long the theater run is in my area. I literally do not remember the last time I went to see a film in theaters, but if it is in theaters, could be fun to go see. But usually I just wait for things to come out and I watch them at home, where I can control the amount of popcorn that I get at any given time. Cynthia, you write too? What sort of stories do you write? They're supposed to be affectionately a skinny bitch. So I'd like it if some of their little bones show through, but we'll see. They wear so much fabric that it's kind of hard to see. If you've read the book, or if you're going to read the book, it's not a spoiler to say this because it's a scene you get to very early on in the book. And I'm also drawing it, and you've seen the concept art, so you know. But you can't see anything, like you can't see any of their actual physical body. And this is just meant as a concept, so it's not necessarily accurate to how they look, but they're very, very skinny, like kind of concerningly skinny, because for religious reasons they don't eat very much. And I'm trying to get their little spindly vibe. I'm not sure if I'm going to necessarily capture that on this sketch, because you can tell that I sketched them with like a much fuller. Look at those leggies. Those aren't skin. Well, they are skinny leggies, but they're not like super skinny leggies. They've got, look at this. They got cows for days. So I'll have to adjust that, but I'm not sure quite how much of their skinniness you'll see. But we'll see. Try to capture a little bit of it. Lily, welcome in. How are you today? Empire is nothing but a metaphor. It represents the darkest desires of people who have to hide in order to fit in society. Lust, womanhood, society. I love things like that. Which I'm just a huge fan of, like, the classics, so like Nosferatu is like automatically a soft spot for me, but I'm glad that that is the direction that the film went instead of just being a like gory kind of cash grab. Because you can never tell with Hollywood these days. Skeletal Buddy. Affectionately, a skinny little guy. A skinny little they them. Really wish to see a few musicals. Phantom of the Opera, Sweeney Todd. I've seen Phantom of the Opera, which absolutely you need to see. Like, you can watch like the films and the recording, I get it, but it's one of those where the way that the hall is utilized, it makes for such a better experience. Because that's definitely one of my top favorites. I'm assuming y'all know FromSoft's Bloodborne. I think it's a rite of passage to be in my chat and know what FromSoft's Bloodborne is. I'm kidding. If you don't know what it is, that's fine. You're still welcome here. I love you. But yeah, I love Bloodborne. I don't have it because PC cries, but I do have Elden Ring, which I enjoy quite a lot. Maybe I'll play some of that later today when I'm all sniffly and bundled up. Frog legs. They be hopping. I'm gonna do that last. Been trying to play it. Suck at con. Yeah, the FromSoft games are unforgiving. Well, Elden Ring is more forgiving than the others, like notoriously so. But yeah, they're a very specific kind of game. They are different beasts when I have a violent urge to explore the world. Man, that's me. I at first didn't bother getting Elden Ring because I knew how FromSoft games were. I don't know if I want to do that with it. Hold on. But what ended up happening is a friend bought it for me, and actually for a while I couldn't play it at all because the camera was giving me a migraine. And I'm not someone who gets migraines, like, commonly. It takes a lot for something to hurt my eyes enough that it gives me a migraine. But they had this weird auto-focusing camera that just genuinely gave me a migraine. So I couldn't play Elden Ring for the longest time. Then they finally added a setting where you can toggle that off. Thank goodness. And after I kind of fumbled my way through the kind of intro to the game, and I got Torrent, which is the horse in Elden Ring, then I could kind of explore a lot more, and it's been really, really fun. It still makes you want to pull your hair out sometimes, and I have very, very limited game time because, I work a full-time job, my 9 to 5, and then I'm trying to write, and I'm trying to do stuff for Patreon, etc., etc. So my game time is quite limited, so I knew that I didn't want to spend it on a game that I was just going to be frustrated about constantly. But I am happy I talked it out. I've been really enjoying Elden Ring. I just finished my second playthrough, I believe, of the DLC. No, I'm still on my second playthrough of the DLC, but I'm approaching the end. I kind of blew past it, or kind of blew through it, rather, too fast on my first playthrough, so I'm trying to go slower on the second. Remember how last time you said you'd last watch Pirates 27? Yeah, I think that is the last time. Moved into 2017, Beauty and the Beast. Oh, and you're a huge movie lover? See, I used to be a movie lover, like when I was younger. And I think as I've gotten older, so and my friends tease me about this all the time. Like if they know my dad, they tease me about this. I am turning into my dad, turning into my father. And when I was little, I would always like almost genuinely get annoyed with my dad because we would have family movie night, and he would just get up and leave and just do something else. He would go work on something else because he couldn't sit through a movie. Like he would, be working on whatever he was working on, right? And he might kind of walk by the family room where my mom and my sister and I were all still watching the movie, and he might like stand behind the couch and like watch, like 5-10 minutes of the movie play out, and then he'll go back to whatever he was doing. And I was like, as a kid, I was like, "You're supposed to sit with us while we watch the movie." Give him a hard time about it, little kid with my hands on my hips, getting mad that dad isn't participating enough. But now that I'm an adult, my mom and my sister are both movie fiends. They love watching movies. But like as soon as a movie comes on, my dad and I are like, "Well, we need to go work on something because we just can't sit still through movies anymore." So I revoke all of my harassment of my dad growing up as a kid. I am now the same way. I can't do it. I can't sit through a movie anymore. I sat through Hamilton, the musical. Like I went to San Francisco to see the musical. Sat through that just fine. But a movie? I don't know. I don't know what it is about a movie. I can't do it. Went to see Wicked recently. Oh, what did you think? I've been really curious to see what people think of Wicked. I have seen the musical, but I have not seen the film. My dad always falls asleep. Oh, want to go to the live action How to Train Your Dragon? That's right. That's right. You'll have to let me know what you think of that. I'm not sure if I want that foot to be shown or not. It's kind of... So the foot is kind of important because it's the pose, right? It's the hanged man pose, right? It's kind of important that I don't know. I'll come back to that. I will just face my problems later. Same, saw Hamilton. Also seen the musical for the Lion. I saw the musical for the Lion King. I was very little when I saw that. I think, oh gosh, maybe like 7 or 8. I was really little when I saw the Lion King, but I remember it being amazing. I still have my little plushie that you can buy in the lobby. My grandparents took my sister and I, and we each got to buy a little plushie. Went to the Sonic 3 movie with a friend recently. First time I'd seen him in a year. Oh, that sounds fun. I'm afraid that's how workaholics are. My dad and I might be workaholics. I have a constant need to be productive. I am trying, to my credit, I'm trying, you're going to probably hear my squeaky chair again, I apologize. I'm trying to, how do I word this in a way that doesn't make me sound like I'm crazy? Your brain needs to be bored sometimes. Like that, it is actually good for your brain to not be constantly overstimulated by everything going on. So I'm trying to kind of actively set aside time of my day where I'm not trying to work on 27 different things at once. But at the same time, if I don't work on 27 different things at once, I will explode. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird balance that I have to kind of try to strike. I'm going to be working on that in 2025, you know. Cheesy little New Year resolutions aside, I do want to work on that. Squeaky chair. Wiki was interesting. I'd say it was good, well done. Good watch to say the least. Just clock a lot of the snobby title characters half the time, so they did their jobs. It's always a good sign. See, I was surprised when I saw... What's her name? I don't follow pop culture. Ariana Grande? Is that her name? I think I have the right person. I don't follow pop culture, so I was surprised when I saw that she was in it, because I knew that she was a singer and it's a musical, but I didn't realize that she actually, like, also had been in previous films, like, as an actress before. So I was very confused when I saw that until someone said, oh, yeah, no, she's been in, like, whatever other film they mentioned. I forget what they told me. But yeah, apparently, well, at least that person told me that her performance is pretty good, so that's good. She did decently. Her acting wasn't bad. The thing was odd in spots, but she did well. Doesn't know the movie is the first part. Oh no, it leaves on a cliffhanger. I didn't realize that. She acted in iCarly. Oh, interesting. Yeah, interesting. I didn't know that. I mean, it makes sense now, learning it after the fact, but oh, interesting. I simply can't rest either. Yeah, if I'm awake, thinking, speculating, scheming, plotting, etc. Yeah, intrusive thoughts can be rough. I'm getting better at those. I've definitely had to. Oh man, ooh, you know, I'm only just thinking about this now because you brought it up. I remember I was so nervous when I was working on the Hellfire animatic because I was dealing with all these thoughts, these terrible thoughts about, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have invested all of this effort and all of this time, and I'm posting it on a YouTube account I haven't touched in 10 years. no one's gonna find this. No one's gonna see it. I'm gonna have done all this work for nothing. Um, and I remember that was very, very difficult for me. And obviously, it turned out way better than I could have ever have expected. But I don't like setting that expectation that like, oh, but it could be better than you expected, because I'm just gonna be disappointed when it isn't. Um, but dealing with that uncertainty helped me when it came to publishing the book, because the book is way more work than the animatic, and it's a lot more personal. People are a lot more willing to rake you over the coals if they don't like your book. It's a lot more cutthroat. So in the interim, in that time between posting the first animatic and publishing the book, I really improved a lot in terms of managing some of those spiraling thoughts, which is good. Just good to see. So it can be done. If I can do it, you can do it. Trying my best, thank you. I believe in you. I know that struggle. It turned out so well, though. Thank you. I'm really glad you like it. I'm still very fond of it. I really wish that I can, and I've talked about this before, I really want to do more to the scale that I did Hellfire, because I really kind of went all out on that one, and I would like to do more of that. But oh man, ooh, that dangerous copyright area that I'm in now, because it's technically a book that I am technically advertising. It makes it really difficult. Because the last thing I want to do is, spend 6 months making an animatic and then it immediately gets taken down because I can't use it as quote unquote advertising. I don't know. We'll have to kind of see how that goes, because I actually have a lot of them. I have a lot of them that I want to work on. I actually have a fight scene that I want to work on. There's no music for that one though, and it's like 30 seconds long or something. It's just Cyril bullying a vampire, but it was fun. I don't know if that one's gonna get published, but we'll see. I have all sorts of those that I really want to work on. Hellfire animatic is still my favorite animatic I've seen. Thank you so much. There's so many amazing animatics on YouTube, so that really means a lot to me. Thank you. Your priest fellow's traits. His very redeeming character qualities. Might have inspired an OC concept of mine, blended with a few other things, because the design was Cardinal. Oh, thank you. It always makes me really happy when people like Cyril's design, because I've had a lot of people that don't like his design, and they tell me very bluntly to my face, like, I don't like how he looks. I'm like, well, that's unfortunate for you, because he's mine. So it always makes me really happy when other people like him too. One of the best animatics out there. Thank you so much. Oh, my heart, it's very full. Came across the animatic again after a year or so. That's one of the things that I really like about YouTube. I have been on several social medias in my day, you know, I think the first one that I kind of messed around with a lot and like did stuff on was Tumblr. Back in ye olden days, I used to make GIF sets for different video games, and there was this. I'm not sure what the right word is. Culture isn't quite the right word, but there's more of it nowadays than there was back then. But I noticed it back then where content had a very short lifespan. Like if people didn't catch it like within the first 24 hours that it existed, they didn't care about it anymore. And I think and it wasn't to a big extent on Tumblr because Tumblr had some better features than newer things, but it's definitely true for our current hellscape. Current hellscape of Instagram and Twitter. Or I'm not going to call it X, I refuse to call it that, Twitter. And so that's one of the things that I like about YouTube is people can find old content. And that helps with knowing that when I put something up on YouTube, that people can come back to it and find it, and maybe they'll stumble across it, 6 months, a year later. So I don't know, that's something that I really enjoy. It kind of helps a little bit in a weird way to take off some of the pressure. Don't get me wrong, there's still pressure, but it's nice to know that, it's not like Instagram where you have to post every single day for the algorithm to smile upon you. It's like you can just upload things as they come to you. I mean, I would like to upload more, but let's not get into that. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Cyril's design that makes people act weird. I had someone once tell me that they think he would look better with like a different color hair, and I was just, that's nice. I didn't ask you. He belongs to me. Go away. But that's just always kind of the nature of posting things on the internet. People will always trip over themselves to hurry and tell you their opinion, especially if that opinion is negative. Oops. That just isn't Cyril then. I know, that's what I told them. The teal hair is non-negotiable. It is a mandatory part of this man. I think people get kind of weird assumptions, which I had someone once assume that Cyril had white hair when, like, I draw in grayscale, right? So if I was gonna give him white hair, you would be able to tell on on the grayscale because it would still be lighter. But usually I draw his hair darker or like the same color as his skin tone when I'm drawing a grayscale. I was like, where did you get the white from? Whatever. YouTube does feel the most humane. It does in a weird way, and I think, you know, garbage AI, you know, content that's being churned out and slapped on channels is notwithstanding. But I don't know. There's something. I don't know. It just feels a little bit more. I don't know what the right word is. I feel like I can interact more with people on YouTube, which is hilarious because it's one of the places that allows for like the least amount of interaction, right? Like there's no like messaging people. There's really nowhere to leave comments or have conversations other than below videos. But I don't know. I feel like the way that you can come and like stumble across creators, I don't know. That's something I really like. But I'm also super nitpicky about how I manage what YouTube is trying to feed me. Like it keeps trying to give me AI slop and those like weird games, and I'm like, nope, get out of here. None of that for me, thank you. Perhaps some religious ideals. Someone's seen this design of priests and nuns. I've had people make interesting comments regarding the religion too, like the fact that Cyril's a priest, etc., etc. Actually, Cyril just seems to bring out this sort of actually he just brings out that personality in people, and I don't understand why. Because not just the priests, every incarnation of Cyril. Oh man, this is gonna get into deep Cyril lore. If you don't know me and this is like your first exposure to my content, hi. There are other versions of Cyril that came before the priest. He's a very old character. Heaven, welcome back. So Cyril has different incarnations, which if you're learning this now might surprise you. But his technically canon character is not the priest. The priest is a side project that I started. His canon incarnation is a pirate. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I need to put a new band-aid. I cut my thumb last Monday. And every time I think that it's fine and I can take the band-aid off it. Goodness gracious. Ugh. Anyways, point being, as I'm putting this band-aid on, Cyril, first of all, when I say pirate, I do mean pirate. He is an illegal, terrible man. Yeah, this is a deep cut. It's pretty rough out here, but it's fine. I'm just putting a band-aid back on. It's fine. But when I say pirate, I also mean like in a fantasy sense. Like this is. Did I hear the word pirate? Yes, you got back just in time, Heaven. I wonder. Hold on. I might have some pirate art lurking. Let me see if I can find the one that I'm thinking of. I love pirates. You're in the right place. I also love pirates. Where's my... Oh, I need to... Okay, there we go. Let's see here. Unveiling the Cyril multiverse. This is some prime... some prime lore tidbits you guys are getting. Alright, let me see here. I know of the particular picture that I'm looking for, so let me just find the version that I want. What do you guys want? Do you want the grayscale, or do you want the colored? Because this is a rare piece of Cyril that I did that has color. So vote now in the chat. What do you want? Colored or Grayscale. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. This is gonna be my art folder. Let's see. All color, anything, both. Guys, girls, they, thems. Okay, both. All right. Sounds like it's a resounding both. I am being very careful with my thumb. I did cut it pretty deep, so it's been treated with an antiseptic and it's been bandaged and I've been taking care of it for a week. I just was letting it out today, and that was a bad choice. So I'm putting it back where it belongs, which is beneath the bandage. I will be taking good care of it. All right, let's see. And I believe I named this canvas something terrible, so I should be able to find it pretty reliably. Let's see. Oh, this has my old watermark over it too. I wonder if I have a version without the watermark. I should. Okay, there we go. All right. We're thirsty, sir. Feed us. All right, let me see if this will work. There we go. So there's the pirate. Pirate Cyril, that's the grayscale. I'll get the color in a second. Yeah, Kim is one of the OGs. She met me when pirate was the only one that existed. I live. It's been a while since I've indulged in some pirate art. He might need to come back and come down on the show. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get the colored version here too. There we go. There's the colored version. Thank you. This is when I had a little bit more time to do some rendering. I miss doing this sort of work. I kind of got into a bad habit of doing only sketches, partially because I have to do sketches if I'm doing animatics, but it would be fun to do more. Let's see if I can. Oh, yes, there he is. So anyways, I was talking about the fact that he was a pirate. So ta-da! There's the pirate. He is affectionately a slimy bastard man, and I love him very much. So it's still Cyril, it's still the same quote-unquote character, obviously it's a different version, but the priest storyline is my first foray into writing, and I wanted to use the priest as a space to get comfortable with the writing process, so that when I do the pirate storyline, I'm kind of coming at it with everything I've got. So he does have his own book series coming. It's going to be after I finish Immolation, which probably, like, I don't know, 2-3 years, I'm hoping, kind of depending on how quickly I can make publishing happen. Publishing is very expensive, so I do have to save up, but but that is the hope, is to eventually get to his book series, which already has a title, but I'm not going to reveal the title to you just yet. But the book already exists. I already have started writing it. It's probably gonna be a series, I suspect. Dragon, thank you so much for hanging out in the chat. It was great to talk to you. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. Hopefully, I will see you next stream. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I need the pirate book. Give me the Pirate Man series. It's kind of bigger. Yeah, he was a little bit. I thickened him out. This one a little bit. So he's always tall. Like his character, he's always a relatively tall character. But I specifically wanted him to, excuse me, I specifically wanted him to be more filled out as a pirate because part of him is that he's supposed to be big. He's supposed to be big and intimidating, and people just kind of react to you differently when you're this big, intimidating. That's the wrong word. Big, intimidating, muscles guy, and so he does that on purpose. So listen, he doesn't have to be praying 7 times a day, so he's a little bit more active. Why does my music keep stopping? YouTube. Fine, I will refresh the page. There we go. How big is he? I'm not sure what his height would translate to. Let me see. I'm pretty sure in Immolation, so in the priest storyline, I say that he's about a head taller than like the average guy. So whatever that would come to, I don't know. He's probably hovering like 6 foot. 6 foot. What would that be? I don't know. It depends on the average height of the guys that he's around. I wonder if I have any art of him next to other characters for scale. I don't know that I do. But he is supposed to be tall. He big. I was thinking he's short. Like if he's tall, it should be like by his chest. Yeah, that sounds about right. A lot of the female characters who are like average height, maybe, and not wearing heels, they usually come up to somewhere like between his chest and like his shoulder or his neck. So he's a tall guy. As I was cooking, I developed a question: are you religious? If I'm allowed to ask, I was raised religious. I wouldn't say that I am religious now, but I did grow up in a very religious household. Tougher times came on Cyril. Poor man doesn't eat enough. This Cyril, instead of praying 7 times a day, this Cyril is like eating protein and working out 7 times a day instead. Different churches that they attend. And there's 4'11" Ver, and I love 4'11" Ver with all of my heart. I love his height. I love that he's big. That's a really fun part of it. What religion, if I'm allowed to ask? So a little bit of two. So my mom's side of the family is your pretty standard kind of American Christian, and my dad's side, we're Greek on my dad's side, so they are very Greek Orthodox. So I grew up with a little bit of both. The Cyril doesn't pray, he prays. Oh man. If I had a medal or like an award to give your comment, I would do it for, or Kim. Sorry, I'm not sure what I should call you in chat. Kim Rihanna, Kim Ver. I would give. Can I like comments in this? Dang it, I can't. Terrible. Misa has yellow eyes with a golden glint in them and white hair. I love that color palette. I mean, I'm biased, as you might have guessed by the amount of gold in everything that I draw, but it's a good color palette. But yeah, so this is the pirate. He does get his own book series. It is coming. He will have probably some of his own animatics as well. But I am starting with the priest, both because I find it fun. I just genuinely enjoy that storyline. But also because I wanted to use the priest storyline to kind of build my confidence and my audience as a writer and an artist. So, baby steps so that I can do the horrible, terrible, disgusting pirate man justice when I get to that point. Because if I do anything less than perfect before a Cyril, he will physically manifest and kill me. Put it in the quote book. Kim Rivera had answered either at this point. Okay. Pirate Serial books, yes. I'm very excited for them. I have a book coming 2025 that is like a spin-off short. It's not a short story, but it is a shorter story. It's a single standalone book. It is not the pirate, but it is pirate adjacent, shall I say. It is a little bit more of the pirate's personality and tendencies. If you know what that means, you know. A little bit more of the pirate showing through versus the priest. But it is not the pirate storyline, it is its own standalone thing. But that is coming, and that'll be a nice little fun book. It's going to be much shorter than Immolation, and it's going to be standalone, so it'll probably be like, I don't know, 300-page book versus 450 is Immolation, so. I love Priest Cyril, but Pirate Cyril will always be my Pookie. You know, same. I'd argue that the new Cyril knows both now. Gotta go. Hope to catch you next live. Thank you so much for coming by, Morgan. I'm glad you could make it. Hopefully I'll catch you next stream. Random, but do you have Kara? I think I made an account. I might have abandoned that account, but I think I have one. Let me see. Oh, goodness. Do I have a login? Give me, I'll follow you. Awesome. Let me see if I have one. It looks like I do, because it's sending me a login code. I do have a log card. Okay, let me see. Let me put this in the chat. I definitely abandoned this poor thing. Give me now. So I am Diastrefo there, just like I am about everywhere else. So there you go. I can't guarantee that I'll be using it actively. It gets a little bit annoying and exhausting to jump between different social medias. I'm sure we can all relate to that. Like, how many mass exodus things have we lived through at this point? But I am on Blue Sky, I'm fairly active on Blue Sky. Um, Obviously here on YouTube, and I technically still have a Twitter. I'm not happy about it, but I still have it. Um, and Instagram. I would say Instagram and Blue Sky are my big ones. Ignore the fact that I haven't posted an Instagram post since November. Sorry. I'm a I'm a story poster over there now, and I need to stop doing that. But I typically just kind of go wherever people kind of respond and interact. So I do have a Kara. I'll try to put some art over there. Maybe make a cheeky little pirate Cyril album and start uploading some pieces of pirate Cyril. Maybe that could be fun. Um, but yeah, no guarantees on being super duper active, but I will try. Give pirate Cyril some of the appreciation he deserves. You know, and this will probably be my last little bit of lore here before I call it a day and end the stream, because I need to do some other things with my day today. All right, let's see here. Sorry, I got a text from my folks. Just need to make sure that. Okay, yeah, because I have to go help my dad with something later today. Anyways, last little bit of Cyril lore before I call it a day. Cyril's name is specifically because, again, the pirate was the original, so I wanted a name that sounded good with captain in front of it, because he's a captain, he's a pirate captain. So when I was creating his name, I went through a bunch of iterations to see what I liked in terms of it has to sound good as both his full name, so Captain Cyril Stacy, that has to sound good, but also just his surname, Captain Stacy, also needs to sound good. And I just kind of went through and sounded out different names, and I settled on that. So that's why his name is that. It's because I liked how it sounded when you put Captain in front of it. And then I immediately took that away and made him a priest instead. I'm kidding, that didn't happen immediately, but you get the idea. But yes, so more pirate Cyril art incoming to Kara, possibly to Instagram if I put it up there as well. Because he deserves some attention. I love it, as you should. 10 out of 10 way of finding a name. Alright. Okay, I'll leave Cyril up instead of changing to my ending streams screen. I'll leave Cyril. But yeah, I'm gonna go get some rest, and I have to go over to my folks' house to help my dad with something. So hopefully I don't get either of them sick, but we'll find out. But thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. Thank you for chatting. It was super fun. I really enjoyed it. I've not had a good weekend, so this was a real highlight of my weekend. So thank you very much. I will see you not next Sunday, but the week after. I'll be streaming every other Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So would love to see you there. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I will see you around on the internet. Have a great day.